do not love clinical terms like vagina. Some hoo-ha just doesn't look the same. Moving on with sex and self-care. So I just talked about getting a makeover. Well, now let's get down and dirty. Yep, below the waist. I'm going to get really, really personal here. So one of the things that I noticed as a woman going through menopause and after having 2 kids, even though I did not have vaginal deliveries, is and I'm going to use fun terms because I just do not love clinical terms like vagina. Some hoo-ha just doesn't look the same. I don't know about you, but things have shifted, things have moved, things are hanging out that maybe weren't there before and you're feeling the need to tuck it all back in. I've also, and I can't even believe I'm sharing this and it's going to go public, but I've also had like a super embarrassing situation where I had almost like eczema. You heard me right. Eczema on my hoo-ha, on my girl parts. And it was miserable. It was itchy and scaly. It looked disgusting. It felt disgusting. And I couldn't figure out a cure. Well, the last thing you want to do is have sex when your hoo-ha is not looking pretty. So I'm going to share with you a couple things that I did to kind of rejuvenate that area. Some are simple and easy and mild, and others are obviously going to take a little bit more research and maybe are a little bit more of a extreme decision, but I think they're great options to talk about because if you don't have a pretty vajayjay, sex just doesn't sound really fun and exciting. Like, who wants to share that? I'm embarrassed. I get it. So listen up because I'm going to share those tips. So you're probably wondering how I got rid of my lizard lips. That's what all my friends nicknamed it. You should have seen the text string when I told everybody, well, not everybody, but a few close friends of mine about my issue down there because I was like, oh my God, like I'm so embarrassed. And has anybody had this? And so nobody had. Of course, I went to my gynecologist. One of the things that she recommended, and it did help, but what surprised me is that she also says it's good for a type of vaginal rejuvenation. But my OBGYN did what's called a Mona Lisa treatment. And essentially it's a type of laser treatment which they do inside your vagina, but also it can be used on the outside. And for me, it was to help kind of cure and heal that skin that was so bothersome. But when it's used on the inside, it's to help vaginal discomfort. So one of the things that I would look into is the Mona Lisa treatment. I'm going to be honest, it's not cheap and it's not covered by insurance, but it is something that certainly could help that situation of vaginal dryness, discomfort, and even potentially your vaginal appearance. I was doing a little research about vaginal rejuvenation, and a couple other things that came up was labiaplasty, as well as another procedure called Therma. It could be Therma V. I think it's Therma and then VI. So those were some things with a quick Google search that came up that looked highly recommended. Also, another cosmetic treatment that you can use is by a product line called, I don't know if you can see this, called Muesli. Now this particular spot cream is actually for your face, but they do make a cream for your lady parts to, I guess, essentially cosmetically get the color and the exterior appearance of your lady part looking more rejuvenated. It's a type of spot cream. I think as we get older, that area gets darker and more drab and it just doesn't look as pretty and fresh. Well, it's a cosmetic cream. Like I said, this is the one for the face right here, but this is what I use for my my melasma. But they do make a spot cream for the external part of your lady parts. So there's just a couple cosmetic and potential rejuvenation products and services that may be of assistance for you. I know you're probably wondering whatever happened with my my itchy lady parts. And again, it was a form of eczema. The Mona Lisa definitely helped, but it ended up, I ended up getting flare-ups actually on a regular basis. So I do think it's some kind of hormone or reaction or something going on. So when I get a lot of maybe stress, or if I've worked out a lot and I've stayed in wet clothes, I will have that kind of eczema skin flare up down there, and it's not comfortable, and it's also like really embarrassing because you can't be itching and scratching yourself in public. This actually prescription. Now this is a prescription, but this actually is what I will use on a semi-regular basis when I get those flare-ups down there. So you and I and all of us, we're becoming BFFs because I am literally telling you all my personal business. But you know what? I hear you. We are suffering through menopause together. And I just want you to know that these topics, there's no topic off limit. And I want to talk to you about it. So I'm sharing my personal stories as well as resources that I'm researching. Okay, so on to E.